you. What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? That's the biggest question. Since 2 out of 3 times my microphone's never working. Loud and clear. Hell yeah, daddy. All right, hey, so today we've got preseason week 3, group 18. This is going to be an absolute banger. I always try to find groups that have good race distributions so that we can see a little bit of everything. All right. And so today what we've got is our contestants. We've got Dan, MD, who I'll probably be referring to as Dr. Dan. He's a doctor of, of the Protoss race. He's the smartest of all of them. I heard he can count to 3. And then we got Limpwald. Limp is one of those keywords. You know, like some people have words that are kind of triggering, right? People don't like the word moist. People don't like the word, like anchovy. Limp kind of gets me, unless we're talking about Limp Bizkit. So I'm going to assume that he's a member of Limp Bizkit. And he'll be playing Protoss as well. Hey, what's up? Thanks. Nader, hey, what's up, man? And then we've got Medyas, who's going to be one of our Zergs for today. And we've got Hmeyer, who is going to be our Terran, and Falco as Zerg. The old Vaseline on the microphone trip. Oh, yeah, my cam is blurry. I saw that before, and I have no idea why. And it was like perfectly good. And then I was like messing with things, and it got blurry. So luckily, I'm not the focus of this cast. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. But oh, I almost forgot. We got to do the CPL anthem, y'all. So everyone, stand up, put your hand over your heart, think of your favorite version of Kerrigan, and let us go ahead and do our CPL song. You'll join me. If it'll start. Damn, suck at this. Oh, here we go.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and flow. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, where legends play. CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the coach you believe.
Formalities. They always get in the way of the real stuff. I also almost forgot we had bingo last time, and it was mildly successful. We had some great participation. I wanted to shout out Dazzle. I think she won the bingo competition, and then Mutiler was a solid runner-up. And now, if you're curious, like, what the hell is he talking about? Bingo? What? We'll do it again, right? It's just going to be an ongoing thing. I'll throw the link in the chat. Go to bingobaker.com, right there, and just like scroll down a little bit. You can make yourself. I also realize I always touch my nose. I'm sorry. I think talking makes my nose itch. Anyway, go to that website. Go to scroll down a little bit, and there's like a blank bingo sheet. Just fill in whatever you think might happen in the stream. right? Zerg may win. Infested CC, right? Like DT Rush. Man Shark touches his nose 412 times. You know, like those kinds of things. And then as they happen, check them off, right? In Bingo Baker, you can just like change the color of the square if you want, or however you want to track it. And then most importantly, if you win, or at the end of the stream, if you don't win, go ahead and snip it, send it in the CPL general chat in Discord, and tag Anderson, right? Like that's the most important part because Anderson's the one kind of like behind all this. So tag Anderson, and then you don't need any additional context. He'll know what to do, and we can move forward from there. So cool. That's what's going to be what going on today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I've been talking too much. Makes my nose itch. Let's get Dan MD versus H Meyer. And let me make sure I've got sound on. You can hear the crafts of stars. And then let's go ahead and make sure you can see the screen. Oh, look at that. Got the screen. All right, we're going to be on Dominator for all these matches, right? This is preseason week 3. We'll probably go back in time as well. I think there's some like week 1 matches and stuff we want to see as well later in the week. Right. So, Dan MD, Dr. Dan, late relative or estranged relative of Dr. Dre. He's going to be up here in our top left. He's going to be our red Protoss player today. And we've got H. Meyer, our blue Terran, over here on the right-hand side of Dominator. We've been seeing some really fun PvT matches on this map. We've been seeing a lot of aggressive kind of like siege tank expands at the natural, which are always a pain in the butt because the natural being an elevated natural just makes it so difficult to break out. And we've been seeing some creative plays from players as they're trying to get out of those situations that Terran forced them in. But then we've also seen some really cool drop opportunities that occur on this from the Protoss side. We've seen some DT play. Overall, casting these week 3 matches has been a ton of fun. We're going to go ahead and knock this one out today. All right, we've got the depot going down right here, putting it right here in front of the door so that the SCVs pop out off to the right, close to the minerals. And we're kind of at that point where we already know that there's not going to be anything super squirrely. We don't have any BBS going down. We don't have any 8 racks. Kill Ace! Thanks for the follow. Thank you very much. Had Tiburon Ombre. Right back at you. Alright, here we go. Getting barracks, which makes marines and stuff, which makes fighting happen, which makes excitement, and excitement is what StarCraft's all about. We've got this probe. He's going to be getting a first scout. Also notice no scout yet from an SCV, which is fine. It's about time to maybe send one, but might be trying to shoot for a little bit of a really exact factory timing. SCV is off and on its way. This probe, let's see how annoying this probe can be. Dr. Dan, not looking to get too annoying, but mostly, you know, just poke around, get some information. Cybernetics Core going down. I haven't seen a Zealot being produced, so going straight into Dragoons. So likely see the Dragoon range get upgraded and go from there. Second gateway, it is. All right, SCV is going to come in here. He's going to see the double gate. He's going to see the Cybernetics Core. And he should know generally what he's about to expect coming his way, right? Some aggressive Dragoon play. We're likely going to see Bunker get put down here at some point, whether, you know, before or immediately after the expansion. Let's go ahead and take a peek up here. We've got a factory. We've got one Marine. We've got a second on the way. Both players powering up. Was able to prevent the SCV from getting knocked out. Sharktosis? Oh, God. I'd love to cast with Arctosis. I feel like he'd be mean to me, though. Well deserved. I've probably said some things in his chat that I shouldn't have. What else is going on in chat? Will we finally get Fartcraft Butt War? Fartcraft Buff War is floating around. I don't know if he's here today. That's right. Artie's chat is a sacred place. being shot. Okay, we have an SCV being shot at by a Dragoon. Again, Dragoon range about halfway done. And it looks like he's probably going to get all 3 together. And then he'll end up moving out. Let's see what he got down here. Okay, just another pylon. All right, so range should be done about the time he gets down to this bunker. And the bunker has 3 Marines, and he has his Vulture. Now, I want to see if he goes straight into tanks, or if he, which I imagine he would, but sometimes people will get mines and go heavy Vulture and use mines to kind of contain and push away Dragoons. All right, Dragoon runs up. He's like, whoa, there's Marines in there. Gets shot a few times. Second one's chilling. We have the barracks coming up here, kind of making this difficult to run by, which is really important. Because sometimes I was watching a game just, I think it was like last night, 2 nights ago, where there was this bunker defense. We had the aggressive Dragoons, and I think the barracks was put down here, or it wasn't even up here. And the Dragoons were just like, all right, whatever. Just ran down the ramp and started wreaking havoc in the main base. Okay, now, H-Meyer has his SCVs up here, but he needs to repair. He needs to repair. Click on it. Is it going to survive? Oh my gosh. The health dropped down to like 8. Yeah, Anderson's my brother. Oh my gosh. It went down. Oh, because 5 Dragoons showed up. Oh no. This is not going well for H-Meyer. What does he have? Okay, he's lifting off the CC. He's using the SCVs to block here. The tank on the low ground is a little bit rough, but if he can get SCVs to repair, even if he does, 5 is a lot. 5 is a lot of Dragoons. He's sending the SCVs, right-clicking on some Dragoons, getting up in their face, which is huge. It's really tough. You know, you gotta focus on the target firing, but the tank goes down, and as we all know, that's Terran Nightmare number 2. The tank pops out, and it dies before it can really defend. This one might be going handedly into Dr. Dan. Wrote a prescription. I don't have any doctor jokes. If you got a good doctor joke, throw it in there. I'm not even going to try. It's too early for that crap. I'm only like 4 cups of coffee in. Like, I'm barely functioning at this point. Okay, here we go. The tank. 1 tank to rule them all. 7 Dragoons chasing him down. Is he going to make it? Hey, kudos to H-Meyer for hanging in there. I would have GG'd like 2 minutes ago. Like, as soon as the bunker died, I would have been like, alright, this was fun. Chalk it up as an L and go straight to Tilt Channel. Talk about how Protoss is OP. Alright, I think this one's about wrapped up. Overall, there was one moment, right? Really one moment, and it was the repair attention to the bunker. And I can't tell you how many times that every Terran has been in that situation. So this can go in the bunker didn't repair page. GG's. Great job, Dr. Dan. Great job, H-Meyer. Let's get on to the next one. But first, let us update our scorecard. We've got Dr. Dan with the dubs. We've got H-Meyer with the L. All right, next up is going to be Dr. Dan versus Falco. And if anyone remembers, so Falco, I imagine him as a bully who, and there's a reason, right? Falco, you're probably a great person, but like in Star Fox, right? Falco was always that like super cocky, like wingman of yours. And I always just was so annoyed by him as a kid. And I loved Star Fox N64 as a kid. I would speedrun that game before I knew speedrunning was a thing. I just wanted to play with my brother and see how fast. Oh, the game's on. I gotta change camera. That's Kill Ace's job to let me know. He let me down. All right, we got Dan MD up here. No, we don't. We have Falco up here, our angry co-pilot, wingman. And we've got Dr. Dan coming off a victory. But last time it was against a Terran. Let's see how he does against the Zerg. Now, a lot of the Protoss, I mean, it's pretty standard, right? But what we've been seeing a lot of is just like the Forge Fast Expand and variations of that from Protoss. And then we've been seeing a lot of Hydralisk play. But there's been a couple times where the Zerg have gotten a lot of effective damage by like either showing Hydralisk and going Mutas or going Mutas first. And so I'm just kind of curious to see how this goes. It might also just be a Ling overwhelm. And basically what I just said in the last 30 seconds is This game just started and it can really go any direction. But as everyone knows, the first 2 minutes of a StarCraft game, it's a little tough unless there's some massive cheese going on. Dr. Dan running around. His probe's not going to find the Zerg on the first shot. But the Overlord will. The Overlord bebopping over towards Protoss. See what it can see. Spawning pool is being morphed, and of course, we've got the Forge here at the natural. Okay, so he's sending a second probe. Now, I've seen this a good amount on, like, 4-player maps, right? Like, you send your first scout to one of the corners or whatever, and if you don't find the Zerg, then you're like, okay, I gotta find the Zerg, and so you send a second scout. I don't see it that often here on Dominator. I'm wondering if Dr. Dan is intentionally doing this against Falco, or if it's because he's not going to have that Zealot, and this is actually very standard for Forge Expanded, and I'm just too dumb to realize that. But he sends the second scout up here. Don't tell what? Don't tell Manshark? Let me see. We got 2 gates. Good to mix in. Proxy Forge doesn't work, right? Blah, blah, blah. That was a first. What was a first? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But it's all good. Alright, we got our first tank going down. Yeah, Escalade proxy forges everybody. Yeah, the StarCraft Underground matches, there's some really fun stuff that goes on in there. And if you're watching this and you're not a part of StarCraft Underground, you should join. It's an ongoing tournament series that I run, and it's Brood War, and it's for all levels of competition. It's got an internal laddering system, so if you show up and you're just beating the crap out of noobs, don't worry, you'll be up at your skill level in no time. It's a good time. Okay, cool. So we got the probes here blocking the gap. We're not going to talk about holes, because whenever we talk about holes, Escalade goes a little weird, and the chat gets on fire. So we're going to call it a gap today. So mind the gap. And we've got the gateway going a little forward. Now, this gateway, this is kind of a tough choke, right? But I feel like this gateway being as forward as it is, it's going to get picked off much earlier than necessary by Hydralisks. But I also know that there's been, I forget what who the pro is, but there's been some experimentation with the wall construction. And in a method of doing a wall, I think like this, it really increases the survivability of the Forge, which then leads to less compromised upgrades, right? Because oftentimes the Hydralisk will come up, they'll blow it down, and you'll lose like whatever it was, your +1 armor or weapons that was being upgraded. So we'll see how that goes, and if Falco takes advantage of that gateway being out front early and knocking it down. All right, we've got a third hatchery coming up here at the natural. Wings are just chilling outside of the natural of Dr. Dan. We have probes transferring. Okay, so both players just sitting back right now. No one really pushing out. That is complete. Ooh, 4th hatch. All right, so 2 bases, 2 hatches at each. We still haven't seen any tech, right? I feel like this is the kind of point where Falco's like could get out teched here. Okay, and here comes the Hydra Den at the choke to the natural. So he's got his production infrastructure up and running. And so as soon as this Hydra Den pops, if he can bank up enough minerals, he'll have enough larvae to just send waves of Hydralisks across the map. Now let's go ahead and check in on our Protoss player. We've got 2 Zealots here, minding the gap. Minding the gaps, I think there's a couple here. This spot particularly concerns me. And we've got this probe, keeping an eye, taking a break, a little smoke break. And we've got a Stargate. Okay, so we're going to see Corsairs coming up. Citadel being thrown down. And I also see in chat, and I'm kind of curious if this is Hydralisk tight or not. Oh my gosh. Okay. Maybe there's a gap right here. Okay, Zerglings get a little antsy. They move up. A couple of them go down to the Zealot defense along with the cannons. Just chilling. All right, we're getting our lair for the Zerg player. Still staying on 2 bases. What's up, Betty? Betty has entered the chat. Longtime blogger in the Tilt Cope and Stuff channel. Okay, so Hydras can get through. Now we know. But the Corsairs are out, and there's only a couple Hydras here to defend these Overlords. Now, most of them are bunched over here near the Hydralisks. Dr. Dan looking for some strays. Not getting lucky right now. This Overlord knows that it's in danger. This one too. I just picture like the Simpsons Ralph meme. You know, it's like, I'm in danger. Sure enough, he is. The Corsairs are pouncing. They're going to knock out this Overlord. Okay, meanwhile, he did get a scout. And with that scout, he's like, maybe I should throw down a couple cannons. He's the doctor. Getting Storm. We're getting more Corsairs. And we're getting Sky air weapons. Oh, I was thinking maybe that was an expansion. Okay, so we're building up our Hydralisk count. We're getting +1. Looks like we're getting Lugi range, and we're getting +1 melee as well for the Protoss. Oh, E-Rob? I have no idea. I was tracking that we were going to have the team reveal stream today, but I actually don't know the details. Dada, if you're still... I'm sorry, Daddy, if you're still in chat... he always gets mad when I don't call him Daddy. Then, would you mind sharing that? I actually don't know the details. 7 hours from now. You heard it here, folks. 7 hours from now, somebody will be doing a stream to announce some information. Ooh, 2 ships passing in the night. Corsairs sneaking around the Hydralisk. Now, the Hydralisks are moving forward. We're setting up for a bust. Now, Storm, just about to be complete. So I don't know, like, this is not going to be a pre-Storm timing. He's going to show up, and depending on how long he delays, the energy is just building. And I don't know if we have more High Templar in production. It doesn't look like it up in the production tab. Now up here, the Corsairs are going ham on these Overlords. Now, we're still not supply blocked. Thank goodness for our Zerg player, and even picking off a couple of them. Neutralizing that that harassment. Now here comes, oh, here we go. Forward gateway takes a couple hits. Zealots dancing around. Oh, and there's the storm. Okay, moderate storm. That was a sprinkle, but still a lot of damage. Storm is so good. All right, gateway's gonna go down. We knew this was gonna happen, right? The +1 weapons was already upgraded. I don't know if there's a second forge underway somewhere. No. Okay, now the Hydralisk is going to be knocking out this pylon. Now, I would be very curious to see if this goes unpowered. I'm not entirely sure. I wish we could see. Okay, I want this to go down so I can see. Because I imagine not all of these are within that first pylon. Now, he's throwing down another pylon over here. That should cover it. And honestly, we only have one Hydralisk shooting. So, I think a little bit of a missed opportunity here. I feel like Falco could have gotten a lot of damage done here very quickly. You want to stream in 6 hours announcing that there will be another stream? I'm sure somebody in the Discord will do that. Not me. Not me. Okay, this is a lot of Hydralisks, I want to point out. Okay, this is also a lot of cannons. Buzzy, my man, good to see ya. And honestly, I think Falco's got enough. And I think he needs to go sooner rather than later. Now, I know he's working on getting Lurker Tech, but the Protoss is still, you know, a little behind on upgrades, or I guess I should say a lot of upgrades are about to come out here soon. And he's got just such a good mass, and there's only one High Templar. If he can bait a Storm out and push in, we might be able to see a GG, especially with this. Look, we got a whole nother wave coming. Falco's not sitting idle. He's not just chilling. He is on full Hydra production, and he's expanded to a third base, which these particular bases on this map I think are so good because it's so easy to run by. You can go right by and just never look. So many times there's replays where there's entire battles happening outside that gap and no one's paying attention. Huge storm here. Absolutely gigantic. Alright, and these Hydralisks are going to go down. Kind of trickling in. This is a bit tough to control. Falco trying to ensure that he has his lurkers set up so that any zealots that poke out are just annihilated. Now, I want to point out that there's no overlords over here, right? So one of, and this also baits out a lot of storms, which is good. But I also want to point out one of the ways to kind of get through this as Protoss is to get some DTs, right? If you keep your Corsairs, you can keep the overlords away. And then with DTs, you can really cut through a lot of these Hydralisks. Now, we're not seeing that play out. We are seeing observers being built, and that'll help against the lurkers. We got 3 queued up right now, and a second robo facility. And, our gateway count is increasing. Dragoon range. Okay, so it looks like we're establishing a little bit of a no man's land here, with neither player really committing into a fight. Okay, good. There has been some drone production. Those are likely going to get sent over here to the 3rd base. Looks like the Corsairs came home, too. I was just checking the minimap. They were chilling here for a long time. Oh, I hear cannons. Oh, okay. We have Dragoons doing some rearranging of the base layout. All right, big storms here. Oh, you don't like to see that as a Zerg. You definitely want those lurkers spread out as much as you can. Okay, we're kind of trickling units here as Protoss, but I completely understand. This is such a frustrating position to be in. Okay, Dragoons are trying to wobble around all these cannons, and they end up chilling here, which I think is pretty good because, well, I guess there's so many cannons. I was trying to think, like this gap earlier we were talking about as, a potential Ling run by, somewhere you can sneak units in and just really deny all of the mining from this base. This is going to be that wall. It's going to add to the cannon support. It's going to prevent this pylon from going down, which I think is probably the sole power of like 3 of these. But anyway, it looks like Protoss is just kind of getting tons of gateway units, not leaning too heavily on High Templar. There are a few scattered in there, but we're also getting Reavers and a shuttle. Ooh. No, there's no Overlord. Oh, there are a few here now. Okay, that's good. But the Corsairs aren't really active and around, and there is a clear path, if you look at the mini-map, between kind of Protoss main and getting into the natural with a Reaver. Now, I'm curious if he's going to use the Reaver as defense here, or if he's going to use it to take the fight to the Zerg. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, Hydra's moving up a little disjointedly, right? I feel like there's opportunities here to consolidate a little bit and attack all at once. Get that concentration. And a whole bunch of lurkers coming up. Okay, so Reaver is going to be chilling here on defense. I think a good choice, but we got to be very careful. We got to be very careful. Boom! Oh, bring it back just a little bit. I don't want to get murked by these lurkers. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's a huge scarab opportunity. All right. Reaver doing Reaver things. Ah, but it died. But nice last scarab. Didn't go down without a fight. We got another Reaver in the making. And this right here, I feel like there's more opportunity to be aggressive. I don't know. This is probably why I lose so many games. Because if I'm sitting here with this, I'm just like, all right, let's just eat it all in. Let's just bowling ball this over. But it seems like both players are content with just kind of skirmishing around each other. We do have 2 Reavers in the making now. 2 is substantially more than 1. And it looks like the rally or that move command from the Hydralist did not set Zerg up for success. Now, okay, we've been staring at this area for a long time. I want to kind of peek around. Zerg has another base coming up, right? So he's taking the 9 o'clock. 3rd base, looking established. Doesn't look like we have gas completely populated. That's fine. We have Hive Tech on the way. Queen's Nest. A lot more Hydras being pumped out. 11 at a time, it looks like, right? Like the larva is available. We're up at 6 hatcheries. Is this another one? Yeah, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's going to be a 7th and an 8th. So we're going up to 8 hatcheries. Production is not much of an issue here for our Zerg player. And you can even see in the supply 117 to 114. Oh, and the Reavers have arrived. Gosh, Reavers are so good. So efficient. Unless they go in and just die. Ooh, hot pickup there by the shuttle. Almost goes down. It is going to save that second Reaver. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out the Protoss base. We did just see Protoss mine out at the main, so the economy was just essentially halved. We've got observer speed. Oh, that's shuttle speed. Shuttle speed up and running, or about to be up and running. Ooh, nice little Reaver location here. I'm gonna aggro these Hydralisks forward. I think they're gonna knock it out. They're probably gonna get the shuttle too. Wow, getting away with 10 health. Luckiest shuttle ever. And this is, I think like I think time is on the Zerg side here. Right, Zerg has the entirety of map control, has lots of bases to mine from, and Protoss is slowly whittling away. What I want to see is Falco just A-move everything. Oh, massive storm! Oh my gosh! He's turned all those Hydralisks into compost, and Dr. Dan throwing in the GG. Alright, Dr. Dan is at 1-1 after Falco showed up. Just zerged him. GG's. Alright, man, that camera really is blurry. It is so blurry. Let me see. I think it's a focus thing. That's what I was messing with earlier. Let me like get really close and then come back. It doesn't help. You just saw me really close and blurry. Okay, so yeah, let's update our scorecard, shall we? So we got Dan as an L. We've got Falco as a W. We are moving into Dr. Dan versus Limpy. You know, I was thinking about revenge casting you, Rice Hat. But have you been losing? Like, it's not fun to revenge cast you and be like, haha, Rice Hat casted me losing repeatedly back to back. I'm gonna get him by showing the world how good he is. You know? So I don't know. I gotta find all your losses and maybe just make a montage. It's coming. When I have time. When I have time, your revenge will be swift and unexpected. Alright, so we got Dr. Dan versus Limp. Limpwald. Ooh, PvP. Everyone's favorite matchup. By everyone, I don't know. A lot of people like PvP, but they're all Protoss players, you know? You never see like a Terran or a Zerg be like, man, PvP is dope. Okay, back to the game. Dr. Dan, over here at the 3 o'clock position, on the right-hand side of the map, coming off a loss against Falco, against our blue Protoss Limp, who we haven't seen play, I don't think. I haven't seen him yet. We've seen H-Meyer, Falco, Dr. Dan. We're getting a heavy dose of Dr. Dan today. Up front. Martin Gala, thanks for the follow. Legend. You're a legend. By the way, people have been kind of poking in, poking out, or dropping out. We're doing bingo again, right? So let me see if I have the link. I do. There's the bingo sheet, right? Go in there, scroll down a little bit, fill out your bingo sheet, right? I know maybe some of you guys are working from home, doing this on the side, mowing your lawn, you know, changing diapers, whatever the case may be. I mean, we're all older, right? Like, you might be watching this getting your prostate checked, whatever it is. Get the bingo card, open it up, scroll down just a little bit, fill in your sheet, and at the end of the stream, or whenever you win, let the chat know that you won, that you got bingo, and you can mark it right there too. So like, there's a bunch of options on the website. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on how to fill out a bingo sheet. But go in there, you can like change the colors. You don't have to like print it or save it or anything. You can just type them in there, whatever you want. And at the end, or if you win, go to the CPL Discord, go to General, snip your bingo sheet, slap it in there, and tag Anderson. It's very easy to find. Anderson. Just tag Anderson. You don't need any additional context. He knows what to do. And he'll judge it likely on time of arrival, like the earlier gets preference, and creativity. Right? So if you win with some really creative things, like we saw a BBS against a BBS match and it happened, like that's pretty unique. Like that counts as extra points in my opinion, versus a probe was built. Okay, cool bingo card, dude. Yeah, a probe was built. So anyway, knock that out. All right, so what are we looking at? We've got Gateway. We've got Cybernetics Core. We've got 2 Gate. Ooh. Yeah, BBS versus Proxy 99. Oh, I need to cast that one. Escalade, I don't know if you're aware. I've only posted one video of it because CPL has been my focus on casting. But I have a whole playlist that I'm dedicating to just you called Escalade's Escapades. And I'm just finding replays of yours and casting them. Okay. Second gateway is coming up here for Dr. Dan. Blue probe, chillin'. But we got the 2 zealots, 3 zealots. Okay, this is gonna hit hard. I'm gonna be really curious to see how Dr. Dan responds to this. We've only seen him against Terran and Zerg so far. This is kind of his skill check against Protoss. We're getting the probe up in there, being annoying. And here comes the first zealot. Okay, zealot probe combo. We have 1 Dragoon, so he should, in theory, be okay. But when additional 2 zealots show up, and the Dragoon is kiting one of them, and the other 2 are running around the mineral line, I don't know. What do we got in production? We got another Dragoon and another zealot on the way for Dr. Dan. But will it be enough? Alright, they've shown up. Zealot party has arrived. Okay, good. He's targeting the one that's wounded. Gonna try to slip by. Can he retarget? He is! Okay, Dr. Dan on top of his micro. Probe with a little bit of a cheeky body block there. He can probably knock this out in one shot. Come on, get him. Oh! Come on, there's 1 wounded zealot there. If we can just get that one. Oh, no. Unfortunate, and the shields had recharged to the point where it took a little extra shots. Okay, that one finally goes down, but this Dragoon is mega wounded, and we did just have a zealot get shanked in the front yard. So now we've got these 2 running around, being wildly annoying. In theory, they should get cleaned up, though, by Dr. Dan relatively easily. He can knock out this one. This one's probably 3 shots away. Okay, my math is way off. More than 3. Oh! And the attention is shifted to the probes. Let's see how many they get. 1. Okay, probes kill one of the zealots. Oh, and a good little drill there. Kills another. Okay, but I think 2 probes went down. Okay, super annoying. So let's go ahead and take stock of where we're at. So we've got 3 Dragoons, 4 Dr. Dan, but we've got an expansion here for Limp. Just images of wet noodles. What do we got here? Series versus Champion for Sku is also good. Alright, I'll have to cast that one. Please only cast Escalade's most embarrassing losses. I don't know. I don't have the time to check them. I guess I can find series that he loses and prioritize those. Just for you, Fuzzy. Alright, expansion is going down for Dan. We have a 3rd gateway going up. So keeping the production advantage here a little bit for Limp. Like, they're both at 2 gateways, but this expansion is going to be done earlier. We have a shield battery, as we do expect the counter to come from Dr. Dan. And here it comes. All right, so 4 Dragoons versus 2 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, and a shield battery, a Dream, and a Probe. Let's see how this happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, big opening volley here on this Dragoon. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on Dragoons. This looks so good for Dr. Dan. Trying to keep an eye on the shield battery. Ooh, nice shield battery recharge there on the Zealots. But even then, like, the Zealots are tanking a lot of shots, but not much damage was done to Dr. Dan's Dragoons right there. But he's buying time. That's what he's getting. He's got 1 Dragoon, 2 more Zealots on the way. So the Dragoon count is going to continue to be in Dr. Dan's favor, and I want to keep an eye on this robo facility. We already have a shuttle up and running, or up in the queue in an observatory. Dr. Dan not in the business of getting DT'd. Robo facility going up for Limp. Dragoon range as well. Ooh, but we see the robo facility. Where are you? Where are you being built? We're gonna see Reavers. Okay. The Zealots are getting all up in these Dragoons' faces. A little tough to kite these Zealots right now. We're going to end up having to split these Dragoons for Dr. Dan. We've got a Shank party going on over here. The Red Protoss is losing. But these Dragoons should be able to, like, it's very micro-intensive, but these Dragoons should be able to just run circles around these Zealots. They don't have speed yet. As far as upgrades, we're getting +1 melee weapons on the way right now for Limp. And it looks like I think the pressure that Dr. Dan was putting on has officially kind of come to an end. He's getting his second base up, getting his second gas. As far as infrastructure, not a whole lot being added beyond the robo facility and the observatory. And he is starting off with an observer first. Third gateway going down for Dr. Dan. And here comes the Citadel for Limp. And I think with the large amount of zealots that Limp has, putting them into speed lots, I think is going to be really effective. If that's kind of the initial route he goes with this, or if he just uses it for tech. Okay, another gate. Yeah, there's Zealot legs right there. I think that that's going to be really impactful. Because he's going to be able to get all around these Dragoons. Reaver about halfway done. That's when the real game starts. The Reaver minigame. Ugh. Does anyone have Reaver drop on a Limp person named Limp on your bingo card? If you do, tag Anderson. Let him know. If you don't, tag Anderson. He's really curious about Reaver play. Okay, we do have a move out here from Dr. Dan. Dragoon's charging forward to these Zealots. Now, the Zealot legs aren't complete yet. But man, if he can keep this Zealot and Dragoon force alive, just preserve this force against all these Dragoons, I think once these Zealot legs are researched, ooh, Dr. Dan's going to have a tough time holding off against this. Dude, Nader, me either. I have no idea what's going on. Usually with Protoss versus Protoss, it's just like, okay, 4 Dragoons, 5 Dragoons, 5 Dragoon guy ahead. That's basically how it looks. But both these players are playing with a little bit of a different style, and now we've got a shuttle. Now, with proper Reaver micro, anything is possible. Reaver's been dropped. Dragoon's moving forward. They're picking at these Zealots, but surprise! Zealots are fast now, and they are getting up in these Dragoons' faces, tanking a ton of shots, but oh! There's a Reaver! Gets one Scarab off before being picked up. Now, good. Dr. Dan's paying attention to this Reaver, making sure that he's not losing it unnecessarily. Limp trying to target it down, but that it doesn't. Oh, it gets another Scarab off, and it is finally eliminated. So now it does look like I think Limp is going to clean this up, right? And I think the big key here were these Zealots. I kind of wish that instead of using the Reaver on the front line, that Dr. Dan had tried to go for economic damage in the main, because then that would have pulled forces from the front, and then he could have gone in with his Dragoon force. I don't know. Armchair quarterbacking here, but that feels like that would have been pretty cool. Okay, so now everything is flipped. We've got Limp sitting in front of Dr. Dan's base. Nice observer snipe there. We do have another Reaver. Now, we had the Robo Bay for Limp constructed earlier as well, but I think he's been primarily focusing on observer production. And right now, nothing producing. We do have Templar Archives going down, so a little bit different of a branch path than Dan. Dr. Dan is going more of the Robo route, getting a lot of Reavers, using that to try to fend off Limp's forces, and Limp is starting to go towards Templar Tech. Oh man, another Reaver gets knocked out. Very high risk, high reward unit there. Very expensive. See these Zealots though, getting on top of everything. Let's do an upgrade check real quick. We've got, okay, +1 for Limps and +0 for Dr. Dan's. Now he has a Forge. +1 weapons is on the way, but we already have +1 armor on the way for Limp. So Limp is ahead on upgrades. Now this probe did sneak out. It's up here in the top right. I'm curious if we're going to see kind of a ninja third base getting started here for Dr. Dan. Must have learned that in medical school. Okay. Things have quieted a little bit. Storm being researched. Actually, I want to check gateway count. So we have 6 here for Limp. We're sitting on 3 for Dr. Dan. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's getting up to 6. So the production is still heavily in favor of Limp. And Limp has been doing a pretty good job of, like, preserving his forces, I'd say. Okay, so now we're going to have the Reaver drop in the main. Oh, man. Let's watch some probes pop like popcorn. This excites me. I'm excited. Just plop it right down there. And it shoots at the Dragoon. Here we go. Boom! Kablow! Poof! Oh my god. He's at 28 probes now. He was in the 50s. Holy crap. And as a response, he's like, nobody reavers my probes. Nobody. He charges into the front of this natural, which is supported by a gajillion cannons. I think Dr. Dan has just completely taken the lead in this match, but I say that. I don't know. There's a good amount of forces here. Reaver shows up to help on defense. This is not the same one. It only has 3 kills. I want to get the kill count on this one. No, please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. 24. So that was 24 probes that Dr. Dan destroyed. I was going to make a joke that was not appropriate. Okay, here we go. A little bit of cleanup crew here. We do have the 3rd base up and running, by the way. All mineral base for Limp. Here we got 2 Reavers. They're in the more wounded of the 2 shuttles. Zealot's getting some vision, just running around. I think we might have a range disparity. I see in the chat that one Dragoon wasn't shooting back. Okay, still 6 gateways. Definitely on the probe rebuilding spree right here. So back up to 38. And I'd like to also point out no countermeasures from preventing it from happening again. And look at that, speak of the devil. Here we go, go for the natural. Oh, I would have loved to see him drop 1, wait for the response, and then drop the other one up here. Oh, okay, he realized, that's not worth my Reavers times. Yeah, right, he's dropping, he's like, where are all the Reavers? Here we go! That wasn't even his storm. Oh man, do you get a kill counter for your own units? Oh man. Limp. I feel like every Protoss has done that though. Limp just stormed his own probe line into oblivion. But the probe does go down, or the shuttle goes down. I believe there were 2 Reavers in there. So, not as big as or as fun as the first drop, but still pretty crazy. Another shuttle with 2 more Reavers. And I love this heavy Reaver play. Just flying straight over these Dragoons. Okay, and now this time, Dan actually has a little bit of a Zealot count, which I think is incredibly helpful. Good storm. Great storm. Almost, damaging that shuttle is huge right now. And I think Dr. Dan has the superior force out on the map right now. Okay, now is he good? Oh, that was unfortunate. The Reaver dies to just this one Zealot hanging out. Okay, now the Zealots are continuing to push forward. These storms are actually really well placed, doing a lot of damage to these Zealots. Not a whole lot left. We're going to get the Archon after the storms have been fired off. But it's going to get knocked down. But it's going to delay these Zealots from just running in here and going full Anakin on these probes. Okay. Okay, this is going to turn into... You're 2 off from bingo? Wow, that was fast. Which 2 do you need? What do you need, Dazzle? I'm curious. Boom. Love the Reaver play. Love it. Okay, so this entire base has effectively been denied for the moment. I wonder if the Nexus will go down. Big storm there. But I like seeing the different styles of Protoss clash. Limp throws in the G. That's it. Dr. Dan gets his second win of the group. That was a fun game. I was making sarcastic jokes about watching PvP at the beginning, but y'all wildly exceeded my expectations. That was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give Dan the W. We're going to give Limp the L, but it's very close. I think the big turning point there was that Reaver play, right? Early on, I think Limp was in a really great spot with his Zealot counts, his researches, like his legs and stuff. I know I'm stumbling all over the place. I don't wake up for like another 3 hours mentally. Early for me. What do we got? We got Dan versus Medyas. Abiotic Lando. Thanks, man. Dan versus Medyas. All right, we got Zerg versus Protoss. Let's get after it. Yeah, you loved his researches. Shut up, dude. Oh, yeah, I'm not talking too well. But I needed to do this. I needed to have some fun. And I love casting these games. All right, we got Medyas, our red Zerg up here at the top. We've got Dr. Dan down here in the bottom, sitting at 2-1, I think. So this is his last game of the group and his shot to end the group 3-1 before he gets placed on a team, which is going to be announced today as well, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in about 6 hours from now. If you aren't sure or don't trust me, make sure to tag Dada in the CPL Discord asking teams win. All right. We've got Overlord heading down in the correct direction. We've got a probe moving up to the top left. Psych. Coming home because he forgot to build his pylon. Now going up to the top left. So he'll get a first scout over here on our Zerg player. Now let's keep an eye on the Zerg because they always sneak their order of things. Does look like we are getting an Overlord first. Bonding pool? Bonding pool. We do have one Terran in this group. Thanks, Escalade. And don't worry about sharing what he says in this chat. Everyone can ping him individually, so just in case the information changes, it changes, and I want to make sure everyone has the most up-to-date information. No, we have a Terran. H-Meyer. We actually saw him play against Dr. Dan, I think, round 1. Alright, trying to get the expansion off. This probe being annoying because probes are evil. Meanwhile, we're getting set up for a Forge expand for our Protoss. Okay, so the expansion finally does go down for Medyas. Probes are a menace. Probes are the worst. They are so annoying. They're fast. They regeneratable. Their shields regenerate. They're small. Their attack has a little bit of range to it. Disgusting creatures. Not cute and awesome like a Zergling. Alright, these are going to go on a random goose chase. We're going to try to track down this probe. But let's go ahead and check on our Protoss. So we do have one cannon. We have one gateway. The path of run by still exists, but it's up here. So the cannon will get, an extra shot as it tries to run through to the ramp. We're not seeing a level of lings that would suggest kind of an early run by here. I think we got, 6 out on the out on the map. And one just got knocked out, and the other one's one shot away. So Zergling just going to chill here. The probe's going to stand there and taunt. And we're working our way into gas. Gateway's almost done. Expansion's completed. All right, now here's something interesting. Okay, so we do have a third base going down for Medyas. And as far as workers, I feel like it's a little light. Not entirely sure. That's probably around the time Medjas wants to drone up a little bit. Seeing that it is a forge expand, he's got some time. Ooh, but the third base is going to get scouted, unfortunately. Good timing there by Dr. Dan. Because he ran that probe all the way back home, had to deal with Zerglings, cannons were shooting all over the place, and then he was like, alright, it's around 3:30, let's send this guy out for check for thirds. Alright, we do have layer being morphed. Not a whole lot going on. That was a really good bait by that probe to drag those Zerglings all the way into the cannon to die. That happened all the way from the third base. Those things were just chasing all the way to their death in front of this cannon. Okay, layer almost completed. And yes, does have some gas banked up so that he can do whatever he needs to do, whether he wants to go Spire, want to show Spire, and then go Hydralisk Den. I imagine he's going to go Spire, though. But he doesn't have any intel on the main base, and we're not seeing... Okay, well, there's the Stargate now. We're getting the Citadel. And I want to see more fighting. Okay, and there's the Spire going down in the main. Alright, everybody. Well, I guess we just sit back and chill and relax and wait for some things to pop off. How are the bingo sheets going? Dazzle, I think you said you were 2 away. How's that going? We've got 1 Corsair being made. And then things I think will get a little bit dynamic. Still 2 away. Alright. A T or a Z. Alright, first Corsair's out. Opting not to shoot at the one right outside his natural, but going across the base and is going to get a little bit of a scout, because keep in mind, he's still not sure if he's going to be up against Spire or Hydralisk Den. So he needs to get out here, scout the natural, see what's being queued up over here. Oh, and guess what he's seeing? He's seeing Hydra Den. He'll start zapping. Ooh, no, he's intent on scouting. Just kidding. He wants to shoot some of these. Alright, so he's going to pop off at least one of these Overlords. There's no Hydralisk being made, by the way. We have Hydralisk Speed. We have a couple Scourge. Okay, so we're going to go the route of Scourge. But he's going to lose at least one Overlord. Okay, so we are supply blocked as Medjas. He's got 3 Overlords being produced. Okay, now the Scourge are out. Now can they just... Boom! Nice. It feels so good when you have something spawn right next to where it needs to explode. Alright, so that got, what, one Overlord? About to get a second. And it does look like the Scourge are going to react. And Scourge are so dumb. Oh no, oh no! Okay, good. He does get the Corsair. Meanwhile, we have a Zealot running amok. No defense up here at the third base, so all these drones are going to be forced over here to the natural. Is he going to be able to run by the Sunken? Unfortunately not. I think that he could have, though, and probably increased his disruption over here on this this natural. But the Hydralisk popped out just as it was dying, so it wasn't going to get a ton of damage done. I think that was already really effective on having this third base need to get evacuated. Let's go ahead and check in on our Protoss. We've got Zealots amassing outside the natural now. They should have legs, I'm pretty sure. I know we had the Citadel here. And then we've got Robo Bay, Pylon. We're at 3 gateways, Stargate, and air weapons being upgraded. Cool, very standard, very good, very chill. We've got a lot of Hydralisks under production. We're up to 25 drones as of right now. And we're getting Loogie range. And +1 missile attack. Okay, it looks like Medyos is starting to compile, starting to consolidate his Hydralisk and move across the map. Meanwhile, the Zealots taking the low road. They're going up to the third. I think what's going to happen here is these Zealots, they're going to hit that third base and probably kill it. The Hydralisks are going to probably want to turn around, and we'll see if he commits or if he runs back. Oh, the Corsairs! Showing Medyos as the initiator of fighting here is actually going to pull back all the Zealots. Dr. Dan feeling a little worried. Okay, now let's see how Medyos does with just massing these forces and getting through as fast as possible, because once these Zealots show up, it's going to be game over. I would like to see him target down this cannon. Okay, it finally goes down. He's staying here, targeting the gateway, and here come the Zealots. Zooming right in. Here they go. Step, 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 step. Hydralisk dropping like flies. Big storm there. And now we're only down to what, 6? 6 Hydralisks? Oh, man. These Hydralisks all stuck and body blocked are going to get shanked. And that leaves us back at parity, right? Medyos is up here chilling on the itty-bitty pizza slice. The Happy Meal-sized one. We've got a bunch of Zealots chilling for our Protoss. Now we are upping... Okay, so we are getting our Gateway Explosion. We're getting our Observers. Getting Dragoon range. And we're throwing a Mutalisk out there. See how this Mutalisk is used. Might just be used for scouting. Get some incidental damage on some worker lines. In all honesty, there's no ranged units out there. You can just chase Zealots around all day. Okay, I was curious to see if Dr. Dan was going to commit back to his original plan of hitting that third. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening right now. Still playing a little bit on the defensive. Energy is building up. We do have a storm available on one of these. Cheeky Mutalisk doing cheeky Mutalisk things. Okay, so we're actually going into Mutalisk a little bit more than just a little bit, right? We have 2 here being produced. We've got 4 out on the field. Let's see what the defense looks like for this. We've got 1 Corsair. We are switching into Dragoons, though, right? But with the SimCity the way it is, once they get out here, you can see the traffic jam, right? If these Dragoons are over on this side of the map, or the natural wall, and those Hydralisks come in, or the Mutalisks come in to the main, it'll take forever for those Dragoons to get back. Zealots applying a ton of pressure up here. Big storm. I feel like every time a storm is cast, it's big. It's huge. It's very lethal. Storm is good. And the Zealots effectively push Medyos back to his natural base. Now, I want to see how these are used. We have 6 more in production. 3 Sunkens, or 3 creep colonies. Okay, we're protecting the third using colonies. Looks like we're gonna have a Zergling scout kind of like spread. He identifies the Protoss army. He's gonna start looking for expansions. He's not gonna find anything, right? The third just got started for Protoss up here at the 9 o'clock. See these Mutalisks active. Okay, little move out here towards the middle. Does look like Zerg is responding a little bit. Consolidating the Mutalisk force. Got going on in the base. We're up to 6 gateways. We have, oh, I'm sorry, 7 gateways. I forget about the one at the front. Okay, now here come the Mutalisks. Now, they're getting caught a little bit out of position by the Dragoons, but I feel like Protoss has to respect this. Maybe I'm wrong. The correct answer might be just shove in. And it looks to be what Protoss is doing right now. Man, these Mutalisks are taking a lot of hits. They are taking a lot of hits. Zicky, thanks with the raid. Thank you so much. Raiders, welcome. We're looking at some CPL preseason games. Right now we're looking at Week 3, Group 18. I think we're doing, what, 8 games today? We're on game number 4. Alright, so Protoss is trying to push in here. Not all at once, though. A little bit unconsolidated. A little spread out. And the mutas are still flying around trying to be active. I think we could have been a little bit more effective with these mutalisks, and I almost think that sending them across earlier on and getting some of that economic damage would have been huge. Right now, I think Zerg might be in a bad way. Yeah, right. You might be getting a little bit of whiplash based on what you're seeing here. If you were just watching Ziki. But if you're just here watching some StarCraft, wanting to hang out, join in on the fun. We got bingo sheets too, so you can at least keep an eye out for some interesting things that you think might happen. Phenomenal arc here by the Protoss. Just mowed down the defenses here at the natural. I think Zerg is in a very tough spot right now. There's not much. I don't think Medyas is going to have much he's going to be able to do. Hydralisks are tearing through. They're getting popped. The Mutalisks are going down. The production tab is all just upgrades. There's not much of an army left. And I think after this small engagement, that might be the GG. That might be the final piece to this game. Okay, and that's it. Medyas tosses in the towel. GG. Great job. And we, watching our Dr. Dan, all 4 of his games in a row, he had a great showing. Good job, Dr. Dan. Going 2-2 in week 3. All right, let's go ahead and take stock of our score. Right now, we have Dan getting the L, and we've got Medyas with that fat W. All right, that brings us to Hmeyer versus Falco. So I know people have been asking, like, where's our Terran players? Where's our Terran players? This is going to be a TVZ. All right, we're still going to be on Dominator. All these games will be. And let's see where it is. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm sorry. Wow, I got the names completely mixed up there. Yeah, Dan's our Protoss player. Dan got the W and went 3-1. Medyas got the L. Thank you. All right, Hmeyer versus Falco. TVZ. Let's get after it. Thank you, Fuzzy. I'm all jacked up. I don't think I should stream before noon. Ever. This was a fun test, but it's not going to happen again. Alright, we got Retraced, also known as Falco, up here in the top left. I hope. Falco, are you here? Is this one of your accounts? Because we've had mis-submitted replays before. And then we've got Hmeyer, our Red Terran, down here in the bottom left. Don't thank Fuzzy. Fuzzy needs ego boosts. Fuzzy's the man. Alright, we'll keep an eye on Zerg here for a little bit, because I always miss whether it's overpool or pool first or whatever the case may be. Even though there's a production tab. Easily distractible. And also, don't forget your bingo cards. I'll throw the message in the chat again. Go there, fill out your bingo sheet with whatever you want in it. And then if you win, let us know. Send it in the CPL Discord chat and tag Anderson. Alright, so we do have our spawning pool going down. We have our Overlord constructed. We're getting a wall here. Everyone always has opinions on the proper way to make a wall here, so go nuts in the chat on arguing amongst each other. But we do know that barracks will be here in the middle, and I'm pretty sure that this is tight. I'm not sure that's tight, at least Ling tight, right? So that might be a Ling hole, and then obviously we have the rest up here. Overlord scattering out. We do have a drone heading out across the map. He's going to go down to the bottom left. He's going to be able to get that scout off and know where the Terran's at, realize that there is a wall going down. And we have the SCV heading up to the north as well. I'm not sure, but the gas feels a little early. Ooh, but the drone's not going to come down there and scout it. Yeah, not Ling type, but is Zealot type. Thank you. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of links coming out. They are going to knock out this SCV. We'll see if he just runs them straight across and tries to get a run by through those holes. Oh, look at that juke! That SCV just broke all of those Zerglings' ankles. Oh, man. And he gets in there and gets to see the extractor. Doesn't see this hatchery, I don't think. I guess that doesn't help. I kind of missed. I think maybe he did, but he cut in over here. He didn't go around the mineral line, so I'm not sure if he actually saw that. Did I say zealot? Or, oh, you're talking about the wall still. Got it, got it. Okay, so he saw that the lings were coming, right? The SCV saw the number that he had. He's using these SCVs to plug the holes, and he's continuing to build up his marine production. Does go factory, right? So is going factory expand, it appears. About to hit 400 right now, and we'll see that expansion going up here at the natural. Now, the Overlord is going to pop in here and see that. It's going to see that it's not an immediate, you know, like 2 racks academy type situation. And we are, in fact, going to have this Vulture. We'll see if he moves this out of the way or if he keeps it here for defense. Looks like he'll probably be defending. All right, I'm going to stop reading chat, man, dog. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with reading the chat and not knowing what's going on. So if any zealots show... Okay, got it. 2 hatch, 3 hatch, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you guys keep conspiring and figuring out what's going on with me. Alright, so we are 3 hatchery. We are going into lair. Now, we're at 4.5 minutes. You know where your eBay is, or anti-air? Does look like we're going the armory route. Okay, so this is going to be a mech build. He's getting his add-on. Got Lings trying to fight Vultures, but the Vultures, you know, he's got his Patrol Micro on point. He's going to be picking these off, no problem. Keeps the Vultures in the vicinity, or sorry, not the Vultures. Keeps the Lings in the vicinity. And this Overlord's just chilling. H-Meyer can see it, too. But he's not pulling these Marines away. Also, keep in mind, the hole is open. It is wide open. Wide open hole. And we are getting our Goliath production up. Alright, Vulture's going to see these Lings try to move out. Oh! Free Vulture to the Zerg. And it looks like Retraced is continuing to produce a good amount of Lings. You got really lucky there with that one Vulture. Not sure if he's going to get lucky on... Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no, he lost both of his Vultures there. That's a feel bad. But we've got a Goliath. I think our Terran's in trouble here. Now, the layer went down, but we didn't see Spire like I actually expected initially. We do have the Hydra Den, and we have Lurker aspects being researched. But right now, I feel uncomfortable for H-Meyer's amount of defense. Right, he's got 4 guns on the map, and it's all being watched. We're building 2 more factories. We're getting the eBay. Goliaths decide enough is enough once range is done, and they're going to push this Overlord to its death. Up! Oh my gosh! No! This is one of those games where when you're done, you go to the nearest tilt channel and you just start screaming. Right? You're like, how come Zerg can always surround my Vultures? How come their Overlords never die? Easy race. Am I right? Okay. We've got turrets being popped up, preparing for the Mutalisks that aren't going to be coming. Well, also this will help detect the Lurkers, but it's a little far back, right? And we don't have any bunkers. And I don't think we have any knowledge of the Lurkers. We don't have an academy. We don't have scanners out yet. So I'm curious to see how this defense goes. I think these Lurkers can be really dangerous for H.M. Meyer right now. H. Meyer. Whole string of Lings following. I think we're about to see a big push here. Oh my gosh, and the Rax lifts. Okay, so he's going to try to take this engagement forward a little bit. He is forcing a couple burrows. Oh man, but this is going to be a little bit clunky to deal with. The lurkers are in range of both of these depots without any retaliation. Okay, it does look like the detection goes at least as far as this first one, but I don't think this one's seen. I don't think this one's seen. And we're losing all of the few Marines that were available. Okay, the Goliaths are pushing forward a little bit. Looks like he's going to be able to take out this lurker, but there's no detection further. So he's going to end up losing this supply depot. We'll see if he ends up trying to put a repair on it, or if he's just going to let it happen. More Goliaths being constructed. We do have a tank. Did not notice if we had siege mode. Did not notice. Now we need some sort of detection. Do we have an academy being built? No, we got a lot more factories. Okay, siege mode just started. I think our Terran is in trouble. I think our Terran's in trouble. I think he was expecting Mutaplay, and I think that this lurker tech is really catching him off guard. We have 2 expansions going down for Retraced, our Zerg player. And is this an Overlord? Yeah, it's an Overlord. Okay, I thought maybe he was going to go for another one. B, you think this is a good state? Do you think he's hitting like a critical mass here, and that he'll be able to move out soon? I think once siege is done, and if we can get some sort of detection, we'll be okay. I'm looking for that academy. We do have the academy built, or building. Oh, I guess I can't tell what it is. Okay, there it is. Right under here. Yeah, you're right. Drone count is a little bit low. I expect that to get turned around here soon. Now that he's got the contain up, he feels safe. And once these hatches pop, the drone count should start exploding. Overlord sight range, carapace, both being upgraded for a Zerg player. Now we do have the comsats starting to be added on to our command centers. We've got one here. Probably throw one here on the natural soon, and I think that that's going to be the trigger, right? He's going to siege up. Now here's a window of opportunity for the Zerg. Oh no, the Ling's being aggroed in. Okay, he's going to have to pull back just a tad. Siege tanks are so good. Look at the range. That siege tank hit that all the way from back here. Okay, more lurkers making their way to the front line. More lurkers morphing. Got a couple sunkens. He is droning. He's going to start getting this 3rd base up online. 4th base is getting there. Let's see where he goes. I'm wondering if he's going to try to tech up. Okay, where'd the scan go? Okay, went right on top of the lurkers. He's going to try to push out with these Goliaths, but it looked like they just move command. They didn't really get any damage done with that. All right, now here comes a big push. How effective can this be? He gets another scan. I imagine he's probably out of scans right now, so he has about 10 seconds to get as much done as he can. And he's getting quite a bit done. He's killed 3 lurkers, and for all of that only lost, what, 1, maybe 2 Goliaths? The supply is starting to tilt in H-Meyer's favor, but I agree, B. We need a vessel out here, and it does look like he agrees, right? We have the starport, we have the science facility being constructed, and Zerg needs to turn this economic advantage into an army real fast. Otherwise, Terran is going to get scary. A couple more Goliaths go down. Waiting on a scan from that one. This one has a scan available, I think. There we go. Okay, so chipping away at this contain. This is going to break at some point. We're at that point where Terran has all the tools it needs. Retraced being annoying, just continuing to shuffle these lurkers outside of the original scans. We have a lot more hatcheries going down. But no additional changes from that. Now, our drone count has actually surpassed the Terran. We're at 1-1 upgrades for the Terran. We're at +1 carapace for the Zerg. +2 on the way. 4 hatcheries being constructed right now, and now we're seeing the Queen's Nest. Okay, so now it's kind of buy time, and I imagine go up to Defiler Tech. but we're a ways out from that. So we'll see how much time Retrace can buy for himself, but I think once this Science Vessel arrives, he's going to have to run and be on the defensive. Now, I don't know if Retrace has scanned these other bases. He's aware of these 3, but he's not aware that our Zerg has also expanded here to the top right. This is going to hurt Zerg. These Lurkers are all going to die. Nice patient move up here from Hmeyer. Alright, I was really worried for Hmeyer there in the beginning. But he's looking in a commanding spot right now. His supply has skyrocketed. His production is up and running. He's got 5 factories. He's got a Science Vessel now. Just needs to group it with the army, and it looks like it's on the way. The Overlord. The Overlord lived for way too long. It finally gets picked off. And it looks like we might have a rally. No, okay, we're just moving some more Lurkers to buy some time. No scans, no vessel with the army just yet, so doing a lot of damage to this punched up Terran force. Okay, and there's the scan. It's going to get cleaned right up. Okay, Science Vessels with the army. Now this is scary, okay? We just need to see Hmeyer control it and start moving it up here towards the Zerg base. I imagine he's going to probably try to get a contain set up here at the natural. But let's see where Zerg is on his tech, right? So he's got the hive coming up. We're getting 2 additional Evo chambers. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I think the lurker count isn't quite enough there, Angry Dwarf. I agree. I mean, now that the Science Vessel's out, it's going to be really tough. We see a lot of Zerglings being made, more Zerglings in production. Looks like we're a little bit low on supply, so we're having to get Overlords. Oh my gosh, if I were a betting man, I'd say Hmeyer can just run through this. Just split the siege tanks into 2 control groups and just walk them up one after the other. All these lurkers are dying. We've got 7 more morphing up here, but they're not going to last long. And that's it. Retrace throws it in. GG, well played. Great game. And who got the win there? Since I always mix that up. Hmeyer got the win. Alright, well let's update our scorecard and let's go into our next match. So Hmeyer got the W, Falco got the L. GG's to both players. And let's go ahead and get into our Limp versus Hmeyer match. Now I think this is a TVP. Hmeyer, Limp versus Hmeyer, yeah. Yeah, TVP, here we go. That was a fun game. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Hmeyer up here, also known as Oscar Bob, apparently. Oh, I'm sorry, not Hmeyer, Limp. This is Limp, our red Protoss in the top left. And then we've got Hmeyer, our blue Terran in the bottom left, who we just saw come... Oh, crap, you're not even on the right page. Now you are! Who we just saw come off a W against a Zerg player. After a little bit of a contentious early game, ended up not turtling necessarily, but getting all of his infrastructure under control and moved out with an enormous mech army and just walked through to the end of the game. Let's see how his TVP goes. I think we saw him play TVP earlier against Dr. Dan, and he lost to Dr. Dan. So he's looking for that win against a Protoss opponent in this group. And if I remember right, the Dr. Dan game, essentially what Hmeyer did is he did just like a standard factory expand, but Dr. Dan was able to knock out that bunker at the expansion. It was like one of those situations where the SCVs weren't repairing when you thought they might have been. And once that happened, the Dragoons were able to get in and catch the one siege tank that was available off guard and sniped it, and the rest was history. I feel like that's a very common play pattern for early TVP, and unfortunately it happened to Hmeyer last time. So let's see how he does this time around. See if he keeps the same build. I imagine he will. Like the beginning of just, a factory expand, probably into like 5 fact type build. And we'll see what Oscar Bob does. See what Limp does. So Limp's going to be heading over here to the right side of the map. He's not going to get the first scout, but because of the 3-player aspect of the map, he's going to know exactly where Hmeyer is. Hmeyer is going to be getting his SCV out. He will be getting a first scout. What will he see? He'll be seeing Cybernetics Core Gateway. We'll see if he shows up and if there's a second gateway that follows this. Alright, Cybernetics Core is done. 1 gateway is being spotted by the SCV. Probe has made its way over to the Terran's base. This Marine, actually doing its job, is going to shoot away. I feel like every time I have a Marine posted, the probe just runs right by it, and the Marine's like, whatever, dude. Do your thing. Alright, we have the factory being constructed. And we'll likely see an expansion coming up here shortly. Okay, probe's going to chill over here on the right-hand side. And we have the SCV running back in for a second scout. Okay, we do have a Dragoon now. The Dragoon will be able to probably kill this SCV. But not before that SCV took some minerals. That's right, denied him 8 minerals from that patch. Did we only have 2 on gas? Looks like we have 3 on gas here. Yeah, we do have another situation where Terran has 2 on gas. This was quite the discussion, I think, in the cast last time we did it. Alright, bunker does go down before the expansion. That'll knock out the scouting probe. The probe does not see whether there's an expansion or not, but the expansion is going to be getting started here right now. We do have the factory. Instead of building a vulture, we do have the immediate machine shop. We've got 2 Dragoons on the way. Now we'll see if Hmeyer repositions this SCV before he gets sniped and gets a couple SCVs up here to prepare for the repair. I feel like he might have some scar tissue from the Dr. Dan game. Okay, it looks like Limp is playing a little bit more defensively, but he does have 3 Dragoons, and this is oftentimes a trigger to move out. Armory underway. We're chilling. We're chilling, everybody. Now this is, okay, so we brought this up last time with the placement of the barracks. And the last time we saw this, I think it was at this spawn, where he had the barracks up on top. And that allowed or prevented like run-by opportunities. This is one of those situations where a bunch of Dragoons could come up, harass this little bit, and they could actually just walk by, get down into the main with relatively straight shot. So we'll keep an eye on this gap, see if he plugs it with a tank. But it looks like we're content with just kind of chilling and powering up here as Protoss. Getting a 3rd gateway. Observatory is being constructed here. Limp might have some scar tissue with mines. He hasn't seen any vultures yet, but wants to make sure he's definitely prepared. And just get some observation of what the Terran's up to. Alright, so we do have a tank out. Siege mode is about halfway done. So Terran's looking pretty safe at the moment. Looking pretty safe. We'll probably see a turret up here as well, I would imagine, just to protect against any, you know, DT shenanigans. Because we haven't had any scans or anything. As far as we know, both players are playing pretty blind to one another. Ooh, 3rd base going up. Yeah, Limp is getting that expansion. Got an observer heading over to peek around and see what Terran's up to. Got 2 tanks out at the front. +1 weapons are being researched. Yeah, we're just chilling, guys. We're just chilling. Kick back. Relax. Sip on some coffee and wait for the fireworks. Looks like we're still at 2 on gas. I don't think H-Meyer has replaced that third one as of yet. Ooh, looks like that first observer actually died to these turrets. They must have been constructed right when the observer was flying over. Sends the second one. Find out what the first one missed. And we're getting this third base nice and established. Nice and buttoned up. Probably see a third pylon go down here soon. Ooh, Reavers! I hope Reavers. Right now we're just getting observer speed, I think, right? No, shuttle speed. My bad. Observer speed comes from this one, right? Who is going to move out first? Probe transfer over here to the third. Protoss is looking pretty healthy from an economy standpoint, but this tank count is starting to grow. H-Meyer going to start pushing out onto his pizza slice. And here comes the turret. We'll see if this... Okay, the observer sees it. He's like, I need to get away. Are getting Reavers. Here we go! 2 Reavers before shuttle. So we got a little ways away until the harassment comes. We've already seen some really fun Reaver play, and I don't... Was that Limp that did that? That had the crazy PvP Reaver play against Dan? Dr. Dan? I think it was. Okay, starting to mix in some vultures. We're at 6 factories at this time. 2 with machine shops. Bye-bye observer. It saw too much. Okay, this is starting to grow. This is starting to become a little bit scary. A lot of Dragoons. We're starting to have the Zealots mixed in. We've got the 2 Reavers out, and the shuttle will be done here in just a moment. And that's when I expect we're going to see some craziness happen. And I'm here for it. Now, H-Meyer's done a really good job of turning up kind of this forward portion of his base. But there's still opportunities to go around and get behind into the mineral line over here. And so I'll be curious to see if Limp does that, or if he ends up accidentally losing these Reavers by moving just right into the front way too quickly. Or not. Changed his mind. Rechanged his mind. And here we go. Here we go. I love Reaver play. Sneaking it over here to the far left of the map. He's going to be hugging this corner. Now, can he get in? I think so. I think he could probably sneak this. I don't think the natural's the place to drop it, though. I think if he can get in and behind, somewhere over here, maybe, that would be hot. All right. Sneaking it in. Oh, he drifts a little bit. Turret is going to get it, and he's going after the natural. Got 2 kills, 5 kills, 7 kills already. Oh no, the turret! Oh, it's so close! Okay, the shuttle does get out. And you know what? The Terran was about to push. We want a gate count. We're at 5. 5 gates. 6 gates, 7 gates. We're at 7 gates now. 0-0 upgrades. Goodness. We've got +1 upgrades for our turn. And 1-1's about to come online for our Protoss. Good move getting up on this pizza slice as early as he did. Yo, this mine is trying. Oh my gosh, what was that? What was that? Most aggressive spider mine of all time. Okay, I like this. I like this. H-Meyer mining off the flanking opportunities, getting the siege up here on the high ground. But the Reavers, oh no, the Reavers are dropping right in the middle of the thick of it. They do get knocked out. And I think H-Meyer is going to clean this up fast. This might have been the big move out that Terran needed. I want to see him keep pushing. Needs to keep pushing. What's going on over here? Okay, we have a Dragoon shooting an eBay. Zealot did some nice mine clearing with his face. Yeah, Australian spider mines. They are huge. Okay, now we got Zealot bombs. Here we go. This can be pretty effective, I think. Boom. One Zealot bomb. Second one. Oh man, this is doing so much damage to these tanks. Okay, gearing up for some more Zealot bombs. Spreading the tanks out a little bit. I like to see that. And with the vulture count, what it is here, it's not doing as much. Oh! Okay, 2 more tanks go down. Good use of these Zealots, really thinning out the tank count. Reinforcements are on the way, but it is primarily vultures. We have 2 with machine shops. Good mine. The Zealots are doing a lot of work here. They're getting on top of these tanks, doing their job. Big mine explosion there, though, is going to clean up these Dragoons, and it looks like Terran is continuing to just power through. Now, the supply is on Protoss' side, but I think a lot of that might be probes. There's a 30 worker disparity here. Now, legs are about to finish up, and that'll make these Zealots even more potent. H-Meyer doing a really good job of keeping mines later up. Ooh, these Zealots and mine drags. Oh, it looks like Limp is going to be able to survive this push. Okay, now we're taking the vultures. We're finally getting up here into this third base. So H-Meyer is now aware, oh crap, okay, well, Protoss is on the third base, as expected. And it looks like it's been there for a minute. He also got eyes on this Templar Archives and the Double Forgery. Forgery? Double Forge. Ooh, got some cheeky Zealots here, checking for that third base, seeing if Terran is taking the mineral only. And H-Meyer is trying to be active on the map with his vultures. Alright, looks like we got ourselves a little bit of a game. Protoss survived that first push. Terran survived the Reaver drop. I like this mining of this path right here. This will allow him to get up. Ooh, but it all goes away and gets dragged by that Zealot. Oh no! These probes unintentionally body blocking, allowing the cannons to finish the job on those vultures. This SCV just chilling. Go hide up by the mines. Okay, so it looks like Limp's going to try to get a little bit of counter damage in. That, or he's going to head up here and check for a third. It looks like that might be the option. Okay, cool. Let's take stock of what we got. Tank count being rejuvenated, vulture count being rejuvenated, or reconstituted, whatever the correct term is. We're still at 6 factories. There's no additional barracks, so we're kind of stuck at those 6 factories right now. We do have a starport for Protoss. Getting a couple more cannons here at the third. We've got upgrades pumping at this point. Where are we at right now? We're at 1-1. We're getting 2-2. 2-2 upgrades are on the way. Let's go ahead and get an upgrade check on our Terran. We're at 1-0. Now, if we look at gateway count, we're at 7. Still 1 robo facility, continuing to get Reavers. The shuttle has survived. Overall, I think we're looking good. Both players looking okay. I would give the advantage to Limp. I mean, look at the supplies. It's at 166 to 92. We have the entirety of the Terran force sitting out here just prior to this pizza slice. And what is this? Oh my gosh! Protoss is taking the expansion here at the 9. How annoying is that? Now these tanks, if you can get them up here, they can shoot over this gap. I don't think they can hit this, but you can aggro some of these units over here and be kind of annoying that way. Okay, so both players just trying to rebuild their armies. Here comes the Protoss. A little skirmish here from the side. Catching these tanks out of position. Gonna take down one tank at least. The rest of it gets cleaned up, but he sees this entire mech force, and so what he's gonna do is he's gonna come up here and he's gonna stage on this pizza slice. He's got his Reavers, he's got his Zealot bombs handy. He's gonna try to pick off as many vultures as he can, prevent them from getting mines all up in his face, force the siege, and then pull back. Beautiful. Loses a couple goons though. That was a nice little move. Sweet little traffic jam here. Oh, man. Oh, no. Please don't move into this. Don't move into this. There's a lot of tanks there. This is about 4 Dragoons trying to peek over the hill. The vultures are going to try to wrap around. Okay, Zealot bombs are coming in. Doing good work. Ooh, I really wish we didn't drop the Reaver. We knew that that wasn't going to survive. Vulture's going to come up here, try to mine up this area. Now, unfortunately for Terran, that's actually going to aggro the Dragoon out of the gap. And it's going to open up the reinforcements. Look at this. You can just see it spewing from that base. Okay, the Dragoons are just going to power through this. Catches all of them unsieged. Oh my gosh. That timing couldn't have been more perfect. Okay, Limp has a commanding lead right now. He's basically just wiped the Terran off the map, and H-Meyer agrees, and that's the GG. Good game from both players. Holy cow. Yeah, Protossed. Protossed to the max. Let's go to our scorecard. Limp gets the W. How do we know? Because he's Protoss. H-Meyer gets the L. Good showing, though. And I think that that initial push was his opportunity. I think there was chances there to really take that huge mech force and just push it into the natural. Okay, let's go into Limpwald versus Falco. All right, this is going to be a PVZ. Let me remember to switch the scenes. I don't even think he lost that many SCVs to the Reavers, though, right? I mean, he lost a few, but I don't remember them doing huge damage, or it kind of pushed the shuttle away. Alright, we'll keep an eye here on our Zerg player in the bottom left. This is Gravity Blast, also known as Falco. And then we have Oscar Bob, also known as Limp, up here in the top left. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think SCV production was definitely behind the majority of that game. Keep an eye on Zerg. We can catch the initial build. Friendly reminder, get your bingo cards squared away. We do have an Overlord in production, by the way. First Overlord Scout is going to the right-hand base. And it does look like we're setting up for a Forge Expand. Okay, see the Forge? Bring a Scout. Okay, yeah, here comes the Scout. He will go down to the correct base, and we'll get a first Scout. We have the spawning pool being morphed for a Zerg player. And we're looking Gucci. We're chilling. Is he going to get here in time to interrupt this expansion? I don't think he's going to. Oh, he's going to pretend he's just leaving. Or is he actually leaving? Okay, we got 2 drones going out to separate sides. Looks like Gravity Blast doesn't want to play the game of deny my hatchery, so he just goes up here, takes the one on the 9 o'clock, and he's going to get confirmation that the Protoss is up in the top left. Now, Falco, if I'm not mistaken, he loves making a lot of hatcheries. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him quickly take this natural, obviously. But then I wouldn't even be surprised if he just kept this drone around and threw it somewhere else. Looks like we've got a few lings running out here. Juking, dipping, diving, probe. It's going to end up surviving. Now let's go ahead and look at our Protoss. We've got the expansion going down. We've got 1 cannon, 2 cannon, and a gateway. Now he's using his probes. He's attacking his forge to keep the probes still, so that he can plug this gap. But I think that might be a gap. Oh my gosh, is it? Oh, maybe not. It looked like he might have attempted it, but the cannon was up just in the nick of time, and Protoss is going to be able to hold. Disturbed. What's up? Thanks for the follow, man. Another probe going down, not probe, pylon going down in the main. Hatchery is finished up here. And a third hatchery going down in the main base. So still nothing here at the natural. Is this an overlord? Yeah, it's an overlord. He's going to be peeking into the main here, getting eyes on what the Protoss is up to. Now this is an interesting layout, I think. I don't know what the proper wall is for this for Protoss, but I feel like these are easier than normal to pick off without cannon shooting back. Now I know there's always things about shooting down might be a little bit farther, so maybe this is trickier than it looks. But we'll see if Hydras show up and start spitting all over it. Hell yeah, Disturbed. Welcome. Yeah, we're doing CPL casts. Hopefully you're a part of CPL. If you're not, join it. It's great. For all levels. Alright, layers morphing. Droning up. Getting cybernetics core. That'll allow us to get our Stargate online. Hell yeah, love to hear it, Disturbed. Welcome, welcome home. Welcome back to Brood War. Alright, so we do have the Hydralist Den, we got the layer. Still haven't taken the natural. I think that's totally fine. Gonna have this second base mining, but what I'm concerned about is the vulnerability of this base. Once the Corsairs come out and Protoss becomes aware of where this base is, and he starts getting his Dragoons, and even these 3 Zealots, right? Like, if he cleans this up without taking much damage, he can probably just run over there and be a real pain in the butt. But it does look like Zerg's gonna get us around here on that Zealot. Gonna take out one of them. And it looks like Falco, Gravity Blast, getting Lurker Tech. We're going to be seeing a Hydra Bust attempt here soon, I'd imagine. And we do have the Stargate finishing up. And we're going to start getting those Corsairs out and on the map. So he's going to lose this Overlord likely. We'll see how far Limp explores with his Corsairs and what the timing of these Hydralists showing up will be. Okay, Overlord's going to see it. And this is to be expected, right? So he's really confirming what he expects seeing this Forge Expand build. He's keeping his Hydralists at home. He only has a few kind of out and about, though, as he pumps up those numbers. See if this guy takes the natural. Boom. Natural. Build. So that's going to bring the hatchery count up to 4. Give him plenty of larvae to work with. And we do have Corsairs out. Okay, so it's how many Overlords can this Corsair knock out, and what kind of scouting information can this Corsair get for the Protoss? Now, if he keeps them home, okay, it looks like he's just bringing them together as a pair. And looks like he's ripping straight towards the main. What do we got going on here? Another hatchery. So we're going double hatchery at the natural. And the Corsairs are going to start doing work on these Overlords. This one's likely to go down. I don't see Hydras around here. There's a few here at the front, but I guess he is going to run them back. At least pair them up with these Overlords. But he's going to lose another one currently already supply blocked. No Overlords in production to replace them. We'll see if these Hydras can shoo these Corsairs away. Now, if they head off to the right, they may fly around and find the one hanging out over here on the right-hand main. But it looks like they're going to kind of circle around. We got a huge line of pylons going down. Probes and pylons, baby. Probably the most memorable Day 9 daily. If you remember watching those. Jeez. That was like 15 years ago, 16 years ago. I remember watching that, and it was like probes and pylons, probes and pylons. Alright, powering up. And we have Storm being researched, more Corsairs being built. We got 2 here, 2 here, so we got 4 Corsairs out on the map. Now, I'm wondering if he's going to try to go DTs, or if he's just going to keep the High Templar idea, use the Storms. Huge gateway explosion here. 4, 7. It's going to bring him up to 8 gates. It looks like Corsairs are out on the hunt. We've got 1 Hydralisk here. No Overlords to pick off. But he is going to finally scout this base. Remember, this is unknown to the Protoss player at this time. He's going to fly over. He's going to see the lurkers. He's like, oh dear. There's a lot of lurkers. But there's no Hydralisks. They all turned into lurkers. So this is actually a great opportunity for these Corsairs to come in here and just go ham on this. And they do. Luckily, Overlord speed is upgraded. But oh my gosh, he might lose a couple of these Overlords real quick. Deciding to run away from these Hydralisks, though. And they didn't take too much damage. But he's peeking, snooping, pooping. Sees the Queen's Nest. Good information. And needs to be careful, right? In the event that... Well, I guess never mind. Never mind. But even then, I guess in the event that he pops a bunch of Hydralisks out here, he can get the jump on these pretty quick. Where'd all our lurkers go? Oh, they all came up here to the 3rd. Okay, so Gravity Blast, recognizing that Protoss saw the 3rd base here at the 9, is setting up a pretty hefty defense. Which is good, because we've got... this is like a buttload and a half of Zealots chilling here at the natural. And... we've got High Templar joining the mix with Storm. Now I want to point out, I still don't think we have any type of observers. So the only detection out here is in the form of cannons. So if these lurkers can actually get in position before observers become prevalent all over the map, we'll be in a good way. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so he took out those Overlords. He knew more Overlords were going to need to be built. And these Corsairs were just here ready for the picking. I don't think they got any, though. Drone over here. Wondering if Falco might be trying to get another expansion up here soon. We're building a lot of energy on these High Templar. Looks like we might see a Zealot move out soon. We'll see. What I hope doesn't happen is I hope he doesn't go into the 3rd base, doesn't have observer support, and he tries to commit too hard on top of all those lurkers. The observer's approaching halfway done. And I think that... oh, there is one. Okay, that's another one then. Okay, so we do have 1 observer out. This might be a trigger for Protoss to start pushing. Looks like the Corsairs are going to come over here and check on this base. Not sure if they're going to see this this drone. They don't, but they do know that there's nothing here. Oh my gosh. And they see the drone, and they see the hatchery starting. Oh no! Now this is a pretty far base. In order for Limp or Oscar Bob to get down there, he's going to have to run clear across the map to get to it. So maybe not the best use of his time to try to deny that particular base. And more lurkers are going to be showing up here, kind of bolster that defense. And Zerg is moving out. The observer is going to see it, knows that the push is coming, and the Zealots are going to run out there to meet it. Ooh, man, I'm curious how these storms go. Storm is so good, so yummy. Here we go, the engagement has begun. The lurkers are unburrowed, the Zealots are jumping into the fray. The Storm getting a ton of damage done. Oh my gosh. And the observer, oh, this is disgusting. Protoss just running through. That definitely doesn't feel good for the Zerg. And that was most of the lurker defense that was hanging up here at the 3rd. So now the Zealots are going to run up here, but the Observers are lagging behind a little bit. They're going to target down the Sunken, and they're just tanking all these hits. The Observer has shown up. The Zealots are going to cut through this like butter. This base effectively dead. We're getting Hydralisk support. We've got Lurkers here on the back ramp, but the drones are still there. They're not being pulled. We have our drone numbers going down to 24. Now the Lings being targeted here on the Goons. That is going to help a good amount. Takes down one, but the Zealot count is just so high. Luckily for Zerg, the Storm, I think, did more damage to the Protoss army than his own. But this is a little bit of a panic button mode. I want to see Protoss, you know, clean up what they can, but really focus down this hatchery. Good Storm hitting both Lurkers, knocking one of them out. And I think this hatchery might be donezo. Yep, down it goes. Good deny on that base there. Protoss sending reinforcements on the other side of this gap. Is going to sandwich this Zerg army. Does lose a Corsair. Oh my god, that Storm! 6 is an expansion with some Lurkers and some Corsairs. Okay. Alright, that just happened. Protoss came in, steamrolled the 9 o'clock. Looks like he's getting prepared to take the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, top right corner. And I think Zerg is in a tough spot. We're at 56 to 132 supply. Protoss is not showing any indication of slowing down whatsoever. We have no real good means of knocking out these Observers. I think the chance for that was earlier when the Dragoon count was so much lower. That there could have been a chance to knock out the Observers so that those Lurkers could keep doing their work. But right now, with this many Dragoons, Protoss might be able to just clean right through this. There's no Sunkens. There's no Lurker defense. That Overlord goes down. And there's the GG. Limp takes the game. Great game. Alright, so Limp gets our W. Falco gets our L. Boom. Should be right there. Hell yeah. And now we got Medjas versus Falco for our last match of the day. Which is good, because I'm feeling a little low on energy. I apologize. Usually I'm much higher energy than this, but Monday, you know? And we've got a ZVZ to finish this off. So dynamic, explosive, exciting. Lots of animalistic noises, which is what we're all here for. Let's get after it. Okay, here we go. We got Falco, our Zerg up here in the top left. He was in the last game too. He was Gravity Blast, right? So coming off an L against Protoss, he's happy to be playing something different. Hopefully he enjoys ZVZ because that's what Medjas is. He's our red Zerg over here on the right side of the map. Both Overlords going to the position of the opponent's base. We'll keep an eye on deviations in each player's build. ZVZ is just such a tough matchup. Like, it's probably one of the main reasons why I don't play Zerg, is because you have to play other Zergs. I think one of these casts, I'll have to do one with like some race pickers. There's players out there in CPL that have different races predetermined per matchup to primarily avoid mirror matchups. We'll have to get one of those. Alright, first spawning pool does go down for Falco. We have an Overlord here for Medjas. So first deviation already discovered, and we have an Extractor going down for Falco as well. Now I like this for Falco just because so many games at this level I see like, well, okay, I like this if Falco survives, right? When I see this kind of disparity between a ZVZ at this level, the early lean pressure, let's say from Medjas, can overwhelm the opponent. I think I have that backwards, actually. I mean, from Falco. But Falco's also getting that gas to ensure that he can get up to Mutalisk as soon as possible. Dazzle, I don't think Falco was our overpool player. I think they did pool first with gas. Maybe I'm wrong. We do have an expansion as well. So I think with the earlier pool and I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. I think Falco might be able to punish Medias early here. And Medias is getting 6 lings of their own, getting their gas. And the Zerglings are already running across the map. The Overlord has identified the opponent's base. And he's trying to run around, I think, to like avoid this Overlord, but there's already an Overlord in his base. But he already has his layer morphing. Ugh, that's scary. So if Falco can just prevent Medias from killing him. Oh no! Medias getting a good initial engagement on these lings. They're trickling in. They're not all together. I think Medias definitely safe right now from any ling pressure that Falco's going to be able to put on. But if Falco can race to Mutalisks and survive, and if Medias doesn't push with a superior Zergling count in micro, he may be in this. Good engagement here from both players. Oh no, Medias getting a good jump on the Zerglings of Falco. Does have the advantage and isn't slowing down, heading straight over here. Now there's more Zerglings hanging out here at the base of Falco. And we're doing this ping pong effect, right? I love it in ZVZ. It's just like, I have more Zerglings, so let's go to your base. Okay, now you have more Zerglings. Let's go back to mine. We'll probably see that a couple times. But Medias not slowing down with the Zergling production. Does look like he's sending them back home, though. So we're getting the ping pong effect. Boop. Back to Medias' base. But we have the Spire for Falco. And we're not even at layer. And we don't have a Hydra Den, which I could think of as like the only other option, or maybe Evolution Chamber to get some Spore Colonies. I think, like I said, like Medias is on the clock. Medias needs to kill with these Zerglings. Otherwise, a Mutalisk is going to show up, and it's going to be GG. Like, that's ZVZ for you. And Falco seems to recognize that and thinks, okay, let's get these Mews out right now. Medias, superior ling count. He's running them across. Falco doesn't have a whole lot of gas either. So, like, because he's only mining with 1. So when this Spire comes up, he's only going to be able to make, like, 1 Mutalisk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, Medias is going to be able to power through. He's in the main! He's in the main. Medias bringing in reinforcements. This is exactly what I meant. If Falco could survive the ling pressure, he'd be golden. But everything's dying. Everything. Medias is going to try to power down this Spire. He might just get it. He does get it. Now Falco's lings fighting back as best as they can, but that's it. That's all she wrote. Medias is going to take that game. GG's. ZVZ. Never a dull moment. It's always just running on the edge of a knife blade. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up our scorecard. And we'll get on with the rest of our days. Alright, so we got a W, we got an L. Okay, so let's take stock of where we're at. Okay, so Dan MD, let's go ahead and give a count for him. So he's got 1 win, 1 loss, 2 wins, 3 wins. He went 3-1. Great showing. HMAR got 1 loss, 1 win, another loss. Okay, went 1-2. Fantastic time in this group. We've got Falco with a win, 1 loss, and 2 more losses. So 1-3. Awesome time. And ZVZ, that last one, like if you had just gotten a Mutalisk out, that would have been GG. Who else we got? We got Limp. Limp went 1. And so you got 2-1. 2-1. Good job for Limp. And then who did I miss? Medias. We got 1 L. And then we've got 1 win. All right, 1-1. Awesome group. Great times. Before I send you all on your merry way, let's first of all find someone that we're going to raid. And then we'll also do the anthem, right? We can't leave without the anthem. And also, if you haven't done your bingo sheet, like, okay, you know, if you didn't win, I'm still kind of curious on like what people put on their bingo sheets. Throw in the CPL Discord, tag Anderson, and I want to see what people are trying to catch in their bingos. See how creative everyone's being. So let's go ahead and find a channel to raid if there's anyone out there. Oh yeah, we've got Urbon. We'll raid Urbon after we're done with the CSL anthem. All right, so if everyone will join me, if I can find the song. Stand up, hand over your heart. Ouch. And we'll do the CPL anthem.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and floor. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play! CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the deep, we are the coach you believe. We are the coach you believe.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the raid earlier as well. Thanks for sticking around if you did. And if you haven't joined CPL, you should. It's a great time. All levels. Let's go ahead and get it. We'll go ahead and raid Urbon.